Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to A Couple Facts, the podcast. I am your boy, Mark,
I'm Shay.
and this is the gang. This is the squad. This is the team. And today, we're here to talk about another topic. We're here to drop a couple facts. And today, we're going to drop a couple facts on communication and marriages, and just what telling people about the problems in your marriage and stuff like that.
Whose marriage, mine?
I don't know, anybody's marriage, and a marriage, and the
Yes. We're
marriage,
going to provide a couple facts about
marital status.
marital uh, nuptials. Okay, so according to recent research, ongoing communication difficulties are the number one reason couples divorce in the United States. According to one study, 67.5% of marriages that ended did so primarily due to communication problems. Communication is the foundation of a successful relationship. Agree or disagree?
Communication is
The foundation of a successful relationship.
yes, facts, all facts, couple facts,
Straight facts.
straight facts.
So you guys, we're here to talk about. I thought it would be cool to talk about, communication in marriages and relationships, committed relationships, whatever, and how we communicate and all of that fun stuff. Just to kind of have a real and raw and open conversation about that. So, yeah, that's the data that a lot of relationships and marriages and such end due to communication issues. And why do you think that is?
I was about to say those are the facts.
Yeah. Why
that's,
do you
that's all the facts.
why do you think that
That
is?
was really a couple
That
facts.
was one fact. Two
All right,
facts.
so we're talking about communication. Why do I think what?
That communication issues are ranked high.
Because if you can't communicate, if you can't express ideas to the other person, then
Is communication just expressing ideas?
yes, communication is how you express ideas, how you translate ideas that you have in your head and in your mind, and you transfer them to another person. That's communication. So if
Really?
you don't have, yeah, that's what communication is.
That's the definition?
I teach that.
Oh, okay.
I'm a health teacher. I teach
Okay,
communication.
okay, okay.
So if you can't get the ideas that's in your mind or what you're thinking about, if you can't transfer that to another person, then you don't have. I mean that you don't have communication, so you don't have any way of telling that other person how you feel or what you want to do, or you don't have anything.
So why is it important to communicate?
Because I mean, if you want to tell a person how you feel, um,
Then you need to communicate?
then you need to communicate how you feel.
So
You
what
need
are
to
the
use
ways in which
you
we
need to use your words. That's a big thing. You need to use your words
Oh,
whenever you're trying
yes.
to communicate. That's something I harp on often
All day, every day.
around
Use your
here.
words. Use your words.
Yeah, some people like to speak in incomplete sentences and just think that other people know what's on their mind, or they want this one person to do this thing for them, but they don't ever express it. So, communication is a big deal.
Right. So let's talk about. So the reason I kind of wanted to talk about the ways that we communicate and like steps
Hmm.
and things that we take. We're not here to say that we have the best communication style. We're not ever going to be here to talk about how we have the best of whatever. Just how we've made it this far without having any major issues. You know how people say in marriages they have ups and downs or
Yeah.
relationships. And I'm like, yeah, I don't
We
have.
don't, we don't
We
really
have
have
ups.
this. I
I
was
don't
about to
really have.
say. I was about to say the same thing. Whenever I heard those, every relationship has ups and downs. I'm like, oh, we don't really be
We
down
haven't
that
had
much.
downs yet.
I'm about to say we don't be
Yeah,
down that
we're
much.
not so naive to believe that we may not be experience downs,
I guess
especially
I guess when we was
post.
in the apartments, we had some downs. When we would go a few days without talking to each other, and even though we'd be in the same apartment
But
and
what's
just not talking, see that's communication.
that
We
is
wouldn't communicate for
facts,
days.
facts, facts,
We would
facts.
expect the other person to.
I don't consider that to be a down. If you make me
I mean,
upset,
that's as down as I could think of.
if you make me upset, and I need time to cool off and gather my thoughts before I come to you, which
Mhm.
may take longer than 10 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, I don't consider that to be a down. Like,
It's not really
but that's what I'm saying.
because humans need time to like cool
Yeah. And
down.
so one
Type
thing
of
that I want to
things.
mention, which well, I think this is just going to be all over the place, is that I feel like we used to try to reconcile our differences more quickly. We do it now naturally, but
Yeah.
back then we would try to force it. But one thing that I had to realize for myself is that if I do something that makes another human upset, I do not have the right to dictate uh like how they become upset or if they talk to me or whatever. Like it is not okay to be chasing after whoever you made upset. I think it's worth saying like, whenever you're not upset, I want to talk about what happened or something
Mhm.
like that. But I don't think it's appropriate that you try to also navigate, how
In
you
10
then make,
minutes, you
yeah,
need to be over
how
it,
you
and
make them or how you can get them unupset. Cause that's really a selfish thing. I feel like that is, I made them upset. So I'm trying to make them unupset, whatever, as quickly as possible so everything can be copacetic and I can have some relief. And, because I feel like it's rooted in ego rather than actually allowing that person the time and space to process whatever it is that they're struggling with or what you've done to them. So I think in marriages, we think that because we live together and all of that, that we need to put a rush on it and, make something happen so everything can go back to being harmonious, which I believe that home should be. But the fact of the matter is, just like with a friendship with, your closest girlfriend or a friendship with or a relationship with your parent or cousin, uncle, aunt, or whatever, it's still just, you don't live with them, so it comes a little bit more naturally, I guess, to give them some time and space and you know wait for them to apologize if they did something wrong to you, or even wait until you're ready to apologize to them. You get what I'm saying? Um, that seems to be more realistic in that type of way because you guys don't live together. But the fact of the matter is, just because you live together doesn't mean you get to put a rush on how they process their feelings and emotions and when they talk to you and if they talk to you, assuming definitely considering if you've offended them or hurt their feelings or something like that. So that's something I learned really early on. So if I could give a suggestion, it is to take your ego out of it and allow that person the time and space to process their feelings and make sense of them. Because usually, if we just naturally take our break, if someone's upset, 15, 20 minutes later, everything's copacetic and we can sit down and have a conversation. But forcing it, I feel like just prolongs it. So let the person naturally decompress and process their feelings. Did you come up with something?
yeah, I was just looking up a couple facts. I think you already just said that. You said divorce was the top reason why most couples get the divorce.
Divorcism.
Oh wait, I said that wrong. My bad. Let me run that back. All right, so it said divorce is one of the top. I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna get it together. All right, so communication is one of the top reasons for divorce, along with financial issues. Says according to one study, 67 percent of marriages that ended did so primarily due to communication problems. Communication is the foundation of a successful relationship. It allows for a strong bond that encourages the growth of your bond over time. If your communication is impaired, it can severely stunt that growth and cause unnecessary arguments, resentment, and hostility. I believe that. That's facts. That's facts. Um, yeah.
So, one of the things that we do is we give time and space. And what else do we do? I know what
Um,
you do. You just talked about it.
let's see. What do I do?
He tells me to use
I
my
tell it. I
words.
tell it what it is. Oh, I tell you to use your word. Yeah, because
Yes.
that's important. Like my
Like
mom used to get on to me about
I have
that
to give a
stuff.
full blown complete like,
A full
hey,
sentence,
it would really be
subject, verb,
helpful.
agreement,
it
all
would
of that.
it would
Yes.
really be helpful if you could whatever or whatever the case is. Like it has to be a whole
No,
thing.
because like for example, sometimes you would be like, um, let's see, what's an example that you would do? You would say, "Hey, can you grab that?"
Oh yes.
And it would be like 50 things on the counter, and she'd just leave and go upstairs, and I'm like, well, I know you wanted me to grab something, but what was it?
But understand that that could be the only thing that I would expect a person to grab for me. So let's say the countertops have a Keurig on it and it has, the coffee
And it
machine
had
and the
an
toaster.
iPhone and an iPad, and it had
No, no.
headphones, and it had a bowl,
Let's
and it
say it
had a
has a
cup,
flour jar, sugar jar, Keurig, some flowers, fresh flowers, and dishwashing detergent, hand soap, or whatever.
and your phone.
And then I have my phone. It would be obvious to me that I'm talking about my phone.
Nah, bro.
But what I think is obvious is not obvious to the next person. Thus, we have to use complete sentences
Complete
when we communicate.
sentences,
Complete
because
sentences.
that's how you communicate full, complete ideas. by using your words, using
Yeah, you
sentences.
can't just expect somebody to know what you're talking about. No matter how long you've known them, no matter if you live together, it does not mean that whatsoever. So understand that you have to express yourself and use complete sentences, which is subject, predicate, uh,
Subject verb agreement,
what's all the other stuff that's a part of this? Yeah,
predicates,
all
nouns.
prepositions, all of that. It all needs to be a part of the way that you're communicating. So, another thing that I wanted to talk about, or what are the other things that we do?
Let's see. Don't take things personal.
Yes.
We don't name call. We don't blame.
Yes, we try not to. We don't have like I
Um,
said, we don't have a perfect way of communicating, but we know that calling each other names, especially so we can here's the thing, we know each other well enough to know that we can joke about something whenever we are and when everything's peachy and sweet. But if one person looks aggravated, that's another thing. We'll talk about that. But if the other person isn't in a good mood or is stressed or whatever, that's not the time to be joking around and playing around. Some people use humor to get people out of funks. That normally does not really work for us because that's not the type of personality that we have. What else? Oh, another thing I was gonna say, to be able to read body language
body
mhm,
language. That's
mhm,
good. I
yeah,
teach that too.
yeah, because
Hmm.
I can know when he's annoyed or frustrated or and it doesn't have to it doesn't have to be annoyed or stressed with me. It can just be annoyed or stressed in general. It's probably gonna be with me, but it can be in general. And so reading that helps me to know what types of words to communicate or to communicate at all.
Sometimes that could get tricky though and difficult reading body language because like sometimes I'll look at you and you look annoyed and upset and
Facts.
frustrated.
Facts.
So I feel like okay, well she's mad
Facts.
and frustrated and all that, so
Facts.
let me leave her alone.
Facts.
But then when I ask her about it, I don't no nothing's wrong. I'm
Facts.
perfectly fine, just
Facts.
thinking.
Facts.
And it's like okay, well I feel like maybe she's just saying that to make it not seem like she has an attitude or anything, but she really does have an attitude.
So
So I don't know. It gets tricky. That's a gray area. I feel like that's something that men struggle with reading women and their attitudes
maybe
and
because
stuff
I
like
would
that.
say I think is probably a thing that happens with me and not with you because there could be something that I could be annoyed by, something let's say something takes place and I can be, like, annoyed by it, but it isn't annoying enough so it's annoying enough to maybe make me change my facial expression, but it isn't annoying enough to where I need to have a full-blown conversation about it. Does that make sense?
But if you don't feel like talking, then that's
Well,
an
I'm never
attitude
gonna not feel
is
like when do I not feel like talking?
when you're annoyed.
No, I'm always down to talk. So, about anything, just in general. So, yeah, sometimes I am triggered by something, but it's not like, I want to express myself about it. It's just because sometimes some things happen and I just let it roll off, which is
Hmm.
another tip that I recommend. If it isn't completely hurt your feelings or a shot to the ego or something that is going to be on your brain for hours on end or whatever, I think it's worth not bringing up every little single thing and having to have a conversation about every single little
Yeah.
thing. I think we can both say that there are things that we both do that we just ignore. I'm trying to think of something. Can you think of something?
Mm,
I think
I'm thinking.
there was something recently, I think this weekend. I can't think of anything. So sometimes what I will say, sometimes even a lot of what I have to do is self-reflecting. So I have to ask myself, like, if this were like, am I annoyed right now, just in general? And so now anything that anybody says, because it doesn't have to be him, anything that anybody says to me is going to be annoying, or is what they said to me really like did that really just annoy me or upset with me? So sometimes I have to ask myself, or if this were someone else saying this, which is I think that's something that's my number one relationship tip is to treat your spouse as you would a close friend. Because if you think about it, if a close friend were to, you know, put your pants in the dryer, even though the pants aren't supposed to go in the dryer, you probably would laugh it off or it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It'd be like a ha ha kind of thing. You probably wouldn't be super upset with them and trying to uh, go at their throats. But if your spouse did it, especially considering maybe if they've even done it before, it would probably be super annoying. But I try to extend the same grace to my husband as I would a friend, which honestly is probably the reason why we're married to this day because we are friends. And so a lot of times I have to remove the marriage part of it and just view him as a friend.
Remove the
I don't know if that
marriage.
makes sense because I'm like, is this annoying me because he's my husband and I live with him and whatever? Or like, I just think back to before we were married or when we were friends first, would this have annoyed me? Is this annoying me? Is this something that he's doing that's annoying me as a husband? Because I had these expectations of him as a husband and what a husband should do. Or is this really something that's annoying me because of, like just who he is? Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense?
Use complete
Okay,
sentences for me,
so
please.
let's say I would I'm trying to make this realistic. I do not like just thinking off random stuff and, like, fake scenarios. That's
Mhm.
annoying to me. Let's say he was to okay, let's say the trash was not taken out. There's no rhyme or reason to the trash being taken, and honestly, trash taken out is really the trash going from the garage to the, dumpster, not from the kitchen to the garage. Because anybody I mean, like, I do that. I'm not taking it to the dumpster, though, I don't think I've ever done that, but anyway, let's say the trash isn't taken out. So, let's say and that triggers me and that annoys me. So, is that something that I'm annoyed that you're doing because that you're not doing because you're my husband, or is that just something that just generally annoys me? Does that make sense?
I feel like that just generally would annoy you because you would feel like you would have to do it.
So either way, that's what I have to ask myself. Is it because I had
Mm.
these high expectations or these expectations in general, or the world has these expectations that I've been taught, I guess, to put on my spouse? Is what he doing annoying me as a husband because I had these expectations, or is this just annoying? And it's the vice versa. Is this making me happy because he's a my husband, or does this just make me happy in general?
Mm.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Like going on a date. Let's say planning a date. Yeah, I'm trying to get a real example. So him planning anything, organizing anything isn't his strong suit. And so let's say that, I'm thinking he is going to be planning our next date or something, or I want him in my head to plan our next date, or I just expect him. Let's just say I expect him. Let's say asked me if I wanted to go on a date. And so naturally, I would just expect for him to plan this date. And let's say he doesn't plan the date, and let's say the date comes around, he's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? So at that point, I have to, and let's say I get annoyed by that.
Yeah, I was about to say right there, you would be
And I'm annoyed
instantly
by that.
annoyed.
Is that annoyed because I think that my husband should be whining and dining me, which I do? Do I am I annoyed because of that, or am I annoyed because this is just something that I expected any person to do? You get what I'm saying?
I feel like that would be an expectation of your husband. You
Right.
would be annoyed because you had this
But the fact of the matter is, Um, why do I feel like, so that's not a good example because I would feel like any person.
because the person who's taking you out on the date, aka your husband, if you've already asked for this thing to be done, then you expect it to be done.
But that's not
And
something I expect of a husband. That's just anybody. If you say you want to go out on a date and then I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And it's 7 o'clock. You told me be ready at 7. And then we don't know where we're going because you don't know where we're
well, I
going.
mean, that's interchangeable. Husband, whoever's taking you out on a date, whoever. Hopefully, you're going out on a date with your future husband. Maybe.
But I'm just saying that's just a lame example, but one that's more realistic.
I was about to say an example. When the roles were reversed. When I asked for you, my wife, my spouse, to set up doctor's appointments and
Right.
stuff like that, and nothing comes of
Right.
it, and I get
Because I don't.
annoyed,
Uh-huh.
and that's kind of like the same thing.
So is
Because
that an expectation of a wife
it's an
or a person?
expectation I have as
Exactly.
a wife.
So
Yes.
I you can't so what I'm saying is sometimes I have to ask myself, is this some high expectation or expectation that I'm putting on him because I'm married, he's
I
my
mean,
husband.
even if we weren't married, even if you were my girlfriend, I would have that
What if I
expectation.
were your friend?
If you were my
Do I
friend,
expect my best friend, same thing. Do I expect my best friend to set up my dentist appointments?
no, that would be weird.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what's, I don't know that this makes sense completely,
But if
but
you're that close to somebody,
I don't
you
expect your mom to set up your appointments and she parented you.
That's the difference between me and you because I expect her to set
Well,
up
she
appointments
doesn't. Well,
too.
she
I
doesn't.
expect anybody except for me to set up my doctor's
So he
appointments.
doesn't set up his appointments, and the expectation is that I will. And so we were even talking to one of our friends about this, and she's married, and she's like, "Yeah, I set up all his appointments because
Yeah.
I don't want him to be sick, and he won't go if I don't." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not setting up. So yeah, I don't set. I mean, I might, but like,
So
it's
that's
not.
why I ain't been to the doctor and
Stop. You just went. He
and
goes to all of his appointments.
and who set that up?
Not me. You set it up from the last one. So I set up his first doctor's appointment
Exactly. That's
because
all
he.
it takes is the first one,
But
and
why
then
is
me
it
and the
that I
doctor
would need to
can.
set up your doctor's appointment?
Because I don't know how. Fine. I just went out and said it. I
Would
don't
you,
know.
but why
Men
don't
don't
you
know how
say
to set
that? But why don't you
appointments
say that? Can you
because
say, "Hey,
that's
I really
that's embarrassing saying that.
well"? So you're not communicating. So you're not communicating properly, and you get on me for communicating
Because it's difficult to communicate one's
your weakness.
struggles.
Yeah,
Yes, your weaknesses.
I got you. But still,
And men don't ever want to like have to depend on women, especially for something that simple as like setting an
but you
appointment.
do.
Yeah, because it's difficult. I don't know, like what number do I even call? Do I just call the general hospital?
Say, oh yeah,
Do I call
he wants to go to the
I
dermatologist.
do because y'all see my face. I've been breaking out like this basically this whole summer, and I need some skin work. Never had all this stuff going on before.
And you don't know where to start with making a dermatology appointment.
Do I just call the hospital? Do I call what is there a dermatology clinic I call or
And to be
do I
fair,
call the front desk? Do I call a specific doctor? How do I know what doctor I go to? And then it's not even the setting an appointment of who to call. It's like okay, well I don't really mess with insurance like that. I feel like health insurance is a scam. That's another topic for another day.
is
So it's like you got to deal with insurance and you got to deal with who to call and I don't know. It's just a whole lot that I don't really want to mess with.
right. So
I
then
don't
he
want to
just
deal
doesn't
with
go
it.
to the dermatologist
Exactly. That's
because
why I
I
still got craters
refuse.
on my face.
Because I refuse. Would this be a simple task for me? Do I know the steps to
Yes,
take?
it would.
Yes.
She sets up doctor's appointment
In
anytime,
his
all
defense,
willy nilly. It would take her 2 seconds to do this,
in his
but she
defense,
just refuses to do it.
I will not. I think that's the only thing that I
How?
think that's the only thing I refuse to do.
I feel like that's so crazy.
I think it's hard enough keeping up with
You see,
mine.
wait, you see that I statement right there?
What I say?
That's part of
What'd
communication.
you say? Yeah,
So
I feel.
I feel like that's so crazy.
Yeah, yeah. That's part.
I statements help with
Yeah,
communication
instead of
too.
saying you're annoying, you could say I feel annoyed. Yeah, that helps with us because one thing that we've learned is that we're both pretty sensitive to words and how people talk to us. I would say, like, it's if
I'm
you want
not
to,
sensitive,
if you want
but if you
to,
talk to me crazy, just be
you
prepared for
didn't
the
let me
comeback.
finish. What I was going to say is that's the grown up way of saying watch how you talk to me.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're both watch how you talk to me people, which means that we're sensitive to how people talk to us, and so we know that about one another. So it's a watch how you talk to me household. It's a watch how you talk to. We're just individually that way, and again, that's just the ratchet way of saying that we would prefer to be spoken to with some decency and some respect because we're
put some
sensitive.
respect on my name.
Yes, that's another word for saying put some respect on my name. So we know that cussing and yelling and screaming and all that.
That ain't gonna get you
If I cuss at
nowhere.
him, he's probably going to cuss at me back. I've never done it, but I'm pretty sure he would cuss at me back. And we just know that about one another. We just know that we just aren't people who are. We have a lot of boundaries, and that's why this relationship works. I think because we have boundaries just individually and together, and we respect those boundaries. And one boundary is no yelling at one another. Like I've never even like I'm talking loudly right now, which is pretty much my normal voice, but I don't even know if I've ever spoken any loudly than this
You
towards
bet
him.
not.
Because at the even though we say watch how you talk to me because we might end up in an argument or whatever or going back and forth cussing at one another or whatever, realistically speaking, I think that I can speak for us both. We don't want to communicate in that way because that's going to hurt his feelings.
And you know what that leads to.
But also it's gonna hurt your feelings, is it not? If I
Yeah.
call you all kind of names out, I don't know what folks call folks. If I call you all kind of jacked up names, ugly and stupid and dumb and all kind of derogatory terms, first of all, you'd be shocked. But wouldn't you be real offended and
Yeah,
hurt that
yeah,
your person that
yep.
you marry is coming at your neck like that. So
Mhm.
that's really what it comes down to. And so therefore we just kind of steer clear of that. But yes, I feel statements. I feel upset when I feel annoyed right now because even if you want to take, I feel like sometimes you could probably take the you out of it and say, I feel annoyed when I ask for the dishes to be washed at a certain time and then they don't get washed. I feel like that
Or
would probably
I feel annoyed whenever
the
you
dishes aren't washed.
or whenever you move my stuff.
I'm saying you can also probably take the you part out. That's like I feel
Uh,
statements 2.0, just to not
oh,
even say a you at all.
I feel annoyed when my clothes are washed without the pockets being checked.
Yes. Yes. And the positive about communicating is that we can remedy the situation in the future by setting up systems. So we're supposed to have a system. You want to tell the people what the system is? Because I don't check pockets when I wash clothes. I expect any adult to empty their pockets before they put the clothes in the dirty clothes. So what's our
But
remedy?
it's still a good method
And
to
he
check
checks
before
all
you.
well, in your defense, here's the thing. I don't have any pockets for you to check. So
That's fair.
yes, you have to
I guess
communicate.
that's why you don't
And
check
I don't
pockets
check
before.
pockets. So that's exactly what I was going to say. So that's one thing we have to communicate on. I don't check pockets because I wear dresses and shirts and skirts. Like I don't wear, if I wear a pair of jeans, I for sure don't have anything in them. Like I can promise you, I have a purse. So it doesn't come natural for me to have a bunch of stuff in my pants pocket. And so we had to, that's something we had to work
At
through
the
and
beginning, yeah.
communicate with. And I feel like every time uh when we communicate, there's only something positive that comes out of it. Communicating can be scary and nerve wracking because you don't really know how the other person is going to respond. It might feel like they're going to be at your neck and that you're going to be scared, embarrassed, or hurt even more. But typically, I feel like most people are decent, and especially if you're in a committed relationship or marriage, I feel like most of the time, only positive is going to come from you. You're going to learn how to navigate better in the future. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And like when you were speaking, I don't know why, but the only thing I could think of was the communication that occurs on the Bad Girls Club. I don't know. It just seems like I don't know. They talk about their problems, but the way they talk about them, they just is
Screaming. Yeah, they
yelling,
scream.
screaming. There's no I statements.
So
They're
we're currently
coming at your
binging
neck.
the
Yeah,
all of the episodes of Bad Girls Club
yeah.
per
We've
his
we
suggestion.
just made it through the first two
Yeah,
seasons.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
Bad Girls Club is like my guilty pleasure.
for sure.
Like when it came out, like when I was watching it, I just had discovered Bad Girls Club like the season before the last one, like season 16. There's 17 seasons. I discovered Bad Girls Club season 16. And by the time I was able to enjoy Bad Girls Club, it was all over and they never made another season. So, yeah, now I'm going back binge watching all 17 seasons. And right now I'm about to start season 3. And
And all they
yeah,
do is yell and scream and cuss at one another and call each other dumb B words and all kind of stuff, which is
and I love it. I'm here for it. That's right up my alley.
so I think that I'm not surprised you like Bad Girls Club. I maybe was in the beginning, but I'm not too surprised because I feel like we enjoy getting like watching
Watching drama
other chaos
instead of being
unfold.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not super surprised. Although I'm not a TV person and I normally don't watch drama. I normally just I don't know. What I do the opposite of me. I like watching excitement, which one might consider Bad Girls Club to be
That's why
exciting.
she like, yeah, yeah. That's her
But
favorite movies are
yeah,
thriller
but
movies.
I like some drama, that kind of drama. So different types of
I
drama.
like ratchetry.
Yeah,
I like ratchetness. I like
I
fighting.
like
I
action.
like people cussing each
I like
other
people
out.
shooting at one another. I don't
And that
like
might
blood.
that
See, I
might
don't like
be that might be
blood
too
and
much
people
for
hitting
me.
people.
I don't know about people shooting. It's
I
like,
don't.
nah, I'm down with all of it.
I don't
I'm with
like
it.
violence
Yeah,
when blood is shed
I'm
and
with
stuff like
all of
that.
it. I'm with
Yeah,
all of it.
spitting on folks and stuff. But like action movies and stuff, I'm here for it. So anyway,
Oh, drama like Cheaters and stuff like that
you
too.
like that
I
too?
watched that
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Bad Girls Club, Cheaters. Let me see who else.
Everything that he's not, he
Anything.
enjoys watching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Everything that I'm not going to be involved in. Yes.
Literally.
Let's see what else show has fighting on TV. Steve Wilkos, Maury. That was all that's right up my alley.
Yeah, which is so funny because I don't watch any of that. But Bad Girls Club,
Yeah, here
I'm ready.
for it.
I'm ready to shut this thing right down right now
and
and
get
go
to
watch some
season
more.
3.
Yeah. Okay. So any other? I had something else that I wanted to. Oh,
I had a
one
few
thing.
things.
Oh, I have one thing. You want to go first?
Oh well, this is like let's see, communicating effectively. These are just 5 tips, or these are just 5 signs you and your partner communicate effectively, and you guys are on the good on. You guys are on the right path of communication. Sign number 1: you and your partner clearly stating your needs and concerns to one another without blame or excessive criticism. I feel like we do that pretty well. Number 2: you and your partner are making an effort to listen and understand one another's perspective truly, giving them your complete attention. I feel like we do a decent job at that. Number 3, we already talked about this, using I statements instead of you statements.
Mhm.
For an example, I feel upset when you come home from work late without letting me know ahead of time. That could get deep. That can get deep right
I was gonna say
there.
I can't fathom you coming home from work
Child, late
late.
where? Coming home late when? How? Why am I late from
We
work?
literally rush home. Like
Yes,
we try
it's
to leave work early to
a
come
little
home.
bit early without being caught.
Either way, like it doesn't matter if we're coming home together. Either way, we're both trying to
We're
finesse our
just
way
trying to come
out of
home.
work because who wants to be there all day longer than
Yeah.
what you need to?
Number 4, keeping the focus on the issue at hand without bringing up past mistakes or conflicts. That's good without bringing up the past. You know,
Yes,
you hear a lot of
we've done that
things
before.
about women bringing up things from the past and
Or
all that.
men, you do that too. You live in the past sometimes.
You say that, but I
So
don't think so.
I do. I think you live in the
I
past
don't live
sometimes.
in the
Uh
past.
huh. When
Ah.
we're communicating, you'll reference. I think it's for
If
like
it's
data
something,
purposes.
that like continually happens, then yeah, I'm gonna bring it up. If it's like a pattern
Yeah,
that shows itself, and oh, it's happening again.
yeah.
Oh, remember last time you
Because
did the
negative
same
patterns are
thing?
supposed to be stopped. Like if you do something to me and I don't like it, you're supposed to be actively working towards not doing it. So if I, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, so that's interesting.
Well, go ahead, put me on
So
blast.
things that all right. So negative patterns are supposed to be. No, I don't have anything specific. I mean, I
You
do,
do.
but
Tell me. Come on, tell me.
I don't know. I
What do
really
I do
you
that you
move my
don't?
stuff.
Oh yeah,
That's the
that's never
first
gonna
thing
stop.
that comes to mind.
That's never gonna stop.
I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind. It's a negative pattern.
It's not a negative pattern. To be
It's
fair,
definitely a negative pattern
he hates when I move his things. But the
because
issue
I know where they
but
are, and when you move them, I don't know where they are.
the
But
issue
then
is
that
that
causes
his
frustration because I can't find it.
but you know what causes frustration as well?
What?
When my house is a wreck.
Let the house don't be a wreck.
It's a
It could
wreck.
be one thing on the table,
No.
and like
Oh,
it'll be on
so
the
do
table
you
for
want me
like
to
maybe
go?
2
You want me
days.
to take this camera up to your side of the bed?
Child, well,
You want me to insert a
you be on my side of the bed. What you
I do flip
mean?
flop and go back and
Yes, you
forth.
flip flop because your whole life is wishy washy,
It is. Sometimes I sleep on one side, sometimes I sleep on the other side. It's just whatever.
bro. It'd be like 80% of the bed wide open, and here you want to come take up my little 10% of the
But
bed.
traditionally, whose side is tidier?
I give it to you, yours.
But yours is a wreck.
It
Like
is. It
chip,
usually
it's
is.
probably like 12 plates up there.
Don't do that now. Don't get
It,
into
it's
snack
at least
bags and snack
I
wrappers
throw
and
mine
chip
away in the
that.
morning, do I not? It's at least 4 plates on your side, about 5 spoons. It ain't a wine glass, some chip bags, like a lot. Y'all know how I do with my
And that's
house.
because after every time we're done eating a snack, here, put this over on your side.
Cause
Put my plate over there on your side. You got room over there because her
my iPad
reasoning.
take up my
My
space.
iPad is over here.
I
I
have
got a
listen.
charger over here.
Yes,
I don't have space. So of course all the stuff is going to be
on
junky
my
on my
nightstand,
side.
there's the same thing on both nights. Well, actually, I have more. We have lamps, we have coasters, and then on my nightstand, I have a charging station for all my stuff to charge, and then I have my iPad and headphones on the other side. So realistically, that takes up my whole nightstand. So therefore, any debris either needs to go in the trash or like a plate or something needs to go on his side. You don't even know what that is. A
I
trombone?
don't. I'm guessing it's that.
Oh, is it? I guess we'll see.
I don't know. I just wanted to hit it because that
You
sound
probably
like.
didn't even let it play all the way then.
Oh, you'd probably be like.
Okay, you got more stats.
Oh yeah. What number 5? Let me see. Yeah, and the last tip to let you know that you and your partner have good communication skills. Giving more positive feedback on what you like about your partner and less negative statements.
Oh, I saw something like that.
Uh huh. I did that
Yeah.
this morning with your
Well,
hair. I love your
well,
hair.
my love language is words of affirmation. So do you really have a choice?
Well, I mean, I don't really keep your love language at the in the
Well, you should.
forefront of my
Yeah, he
mind.
likes my hair like this,
I
you guys.
do. I love when her hair's out in the afro and in its natural state. I love it. I don't know
Which
why
is
she doesn't.
why we're here today, because otherwise
I really love it.
that thing be braided up. But
Yeah.
you don't have to
I'm
detangle.
tired of seeing the
Do you
braids.
want to start detangling it?
Hmm?
Do
I
you want to
can.
twist it? Okay.
Don't put it past me.
Okay. You could
What,
detangle,
twist it?
twist it.
I
I'll
could twist
detangle it. You
that
could twist it.
because I feel like I'm doing hair,
Okay. You could twist my
and
hair.
I feel like I'll
It's a
need to
good.
get paid for my service.
No, what you'll do is know that you have that skill set. So if you have a daughter, she'll be good.
Yeah, I can start
Yeah,
practicing on your
you
hair.
do. So an
All right, so
important.
let me start practicing on your
I'll
hair.
let you twist my hair tonight, maybe, because
Okay.
I might twist it up to preserve the style so it looks like this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All you gotta
Well,
do.
the other option is
If that's all I gotta do is twist it up, then yeah,
okay,
we good.
okay, we'll see. So
I mean, I used to have hair myself.
this is true, but I'm pretty sure you picked it, and I don't put a pick in my hair. I actually don't touch it at all unless it's wet,
Well, I would have preferred to like do my hair like you take care of your hair, but
like how the kids are doing it these days. Some dudes are having like twist outs and stuff.
yeah, I know that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Anywho, oh, one thing that I was gonna say is that we have never. I don't know that this is what the stats are on this, or if
Mm-mm.
this is normal or not normal, but
Uh-uh.
we do not talk about our marriage issues
To other
to
people,
other people
no.
ever. Like not a single person. Like I can't fathom calling up a friend like, "Oh my god, he just
I was about to say I
whatever."
don't really think that we have like
I was
problems
gonna
to
say that,
like
but
really
this is true. Like they're not deep enough to where we would need to do that,
or
but
need help. I guess
navigating
I
it,
guess if it ever
we'd probably
did
go to
get to that
therapy.
point, we'd go to
Yeah,
therapy.
yeah.
I don't
Which I want to go to now. I want to go like
just because
monthly for
you just want to
maintenance,
spend money
but it
on
costs money, so I'm not.
therapy and all that.
Which is terrible, but it's going to cost money to do that, so it's not a vibe for us. But
I
we went to premarital counseling and we thought it was cool.
Yeah, low key. Well, it was helpful, but I low key felt like I low key kind of already knew.
This is true, but I just think about. I'm always about being proactive, and so if I can do something, anything, even something slight.
Maybe they should give like free sessions like once every 3 months. After that,
Who
there should be
who is
something.
giving free in United?
There should
What is
be
free in the United States?
there should be something in the United States where like after you get married, your health insurance pays for like one marriage counseling session once every 3 months or
That'd be
once every
good. Like
year or
when
twice
you're
a
freshly
year.
married, that'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Like within your first 5 years
Uh
of
huh.
marriage, once
Mm-hmm.
every year, you should be able to see a marriage counselor for free.
Or something, or a
Yeah.
low copay or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, that's not the world that we live in. But
Cause,
yeah,
cause therapy session, that's covered by insurance, ain't it?
if you have like real concerns, like if you
If you
know,
have real
like you
concerns,
can't.
therapy is therapy,
Yeah, I
no?
know, but you can't just like it would never pay for premarital counseling or
Um, Wait, so there's different therapy sessions there's different kinds of therapy that
yes.
insurance I mean, if I'm traumatized and I need help.
But if we go to marriage counseling, neither of us are traumatized, are we?
Yeah, could be.
Could be.
Who's to say like
Could be, but if you're traumatized,
you don't know what
they're going to pay
problems?
for it.
All you know is you need help.
It's going to more so cover an individual going rather than a couple. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, well maybe that could be the thing. Maybe insurance covers for the
Uh,
wife to go and then
indi-
the
Insurance should
husband.
cover every human going regularly for a check-in. I think it should be a mental health exam. Should be
Yeah,
just like a
all
physical
that should be
exam.
included
Yeah,
in
for sure. I'm a
but
big
I feel
proponent of
like
that.
that's part of our insurance talk though.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So anywho, what I was going to say is, yeah, we don't really talk about I guess what I'm saying is there definitely have been times where even though you haven't done anything to me to really hurt my feelings, that I could have shared that with someone else. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like even though it might not have been anything super crazy that required us to take a break or whatever, there definitely could have been times where I wanted that I could have communicated whatever may have happened to someone else. But we'd rather just kind of mitigate our issues on our own rather than involving a bunch of people. A lot of times they say don't do that unless it's a completely neutral party because that might then kind of hinder how they view the person that you're talking about and that could change that dynamic. So,
Yeah, and that could change the advice that they give you
yeah.
because of the things in the past that you've told them
Yeah, like, he
before.
could go to his mom and well, I guess sometimes we don't go to people because they haven't been married to or whatever. I mean, or haven't
Yeah, or
but he
they're
could go to his mom and talk about me, and I don't feel like it would change the way that she views me just because of the relationship that we have. What do you think?
yeah, I don't think it
Yeah,
would.
I think if anything, if I went to her about him, she would be like upset with him over if he were to go to her about me. Or I have friends who I could talk to. So I'm not saying we don't have people in our lives who would be neutral and who wouldn't be judgmental. Like some of my married friends, I for sure could chat with them and they'd probably have the same. And we talk. I don't go to talk to them when I'm upset or frustrated with him because I feel like that's just going to bring about me talking about more like not exaggerating it, but it's going to be more me maybe talking more negatively than what I traditionally would. So I can talk to my married friends about, different things and relationship struggles that we have or like how we mitigate things in our marriage. But for the most part, when I'm upset or frustrated, I don't really reach out to, not don't really, I do not reach out to someone else to bring them into the mix, even though there are people who we could confide in and share our struggles with who would not be judgmental. Like I said, like his mom as an example. Or even my mom when she were alive, she wouldn't have looked at him differently. Depending on what I'm saying, I guess. But I guess it depends on the content, but we'd rather just work out our struggles ourselves and then keep it moving because I mean, I guess what it comes down to is I mean, unless it's something super major, do people really need to know what I can talk to anybody about the aftermath, but in the wake of it, I'm not going to talk to, you know,
Mhm.
I can be honest with people about anything that any struggle we might have or whatever, but in the wake of it, I don't feel the need to go talk to someone about what's happening. Does that make sense? What
It
do you think?
does. I don't know. I was just looking up a couple facts. All right. So they say there's 7 reasons to avoid telling others about your problems in your marriage. Number one, there's no resolution. So I guess that means like when you talk to other people about your marriage, you're just expecting them to listen. They're not really going to give you an answer or whatever. But it says most people don't feel that any harm can be done by talking about their marital problems. Usually they just want advice on how to resolve the problems that they're having. Sometimes they're simply looking for someone to listen to them while they express their frustrations. Perhaps they just want reassurance that everything will be okay. Even if you have the best of intentions, talking about your problems in a marriage may not resolve anything. You may spend hours discussing the problem only to find out that nothing gets fixed. Um, Issue number two: your spouse may find out and feel betrayed. I can see that happening.
I for sure can see that happen. 100% I'm gonna be
You
betrayed.
told them what? You
I'm
told them
one,
I did what?
I'm 100% going to be betrayed depending on what it is.
Yeah, on what it
Yeah,
is.
like if you're like, you know,
Spilling secrets or whatever.
yeah, Shay
Or
smacked me in the head. Or I don't know. And even though I've never smacked him in the head, I'm gonna feel away because if I do smack him in the head, I'm gonna probably be like at level 1,000, which I don't want to be. Like I would have to. I don't even know what would make me want to put my hands on anybody, but I'd have to be like completely out of control for that moment to smack him in the head. So I definitely would feel away if people knew in his family or whatever, even in my family, probably that I've put my hands on somebody when I'm not a violent person.
reason number three: it's impossible to get an objective point of view. I see that because I mean you're hearing it from one side of the story and not getting both
Yes,
sides.
yeah.
So
So point of the story for me is that I don't really see what comes out of it outside of being able to debrief and like release some of my frustrations. If I, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't see
mhm.
anything else coming out of me going to someone else to tell them about what I'm dealing with.
Reason number four: it may become public knowledge. I'm guessing that.
Facebook.
Yeah, I was about to say Facebook was the first thing that
That's
came to
giving
mind.
Facebook vibes.
Yeah, people run to Facebook and
Yeah,
yeah, it's all
that's a
over the
no. Yeah,
city.
don't do that. Don't do
Yeah,
that. Don't do that. Don't put your. I don't. I'm not putting anybody on blast on social media, much less my spouse. So that's just
yeah.
a boundary that I have. I'm not going to be like dragging folks through the mud on social media
I can
anyway.
see if it's somebody that somebody out in the public, like a friend, that somebody you went to school with. But like, I feel like family, that's pretty
Well, I
off
don't see the
limits.
point in doing it anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless somebody puts you on blast. That's the only reason I could think of me retaliate.
And
Like if you
if you were
if
publicly
you
offended or
yeah.
publicly, if the
Even
beef was
then, I'm
put out
probably
in
gonna take the
public,
higher road, but that's the only reason it would make sense for me to literally go make a post or whatever
yeah, if the beef
about
was made
somebody's
public, then we got to
shortcomings.
cook the beef in public. Reason number 5, you could get bad advice.
Facts.
You should just watch who you talking to.
Yeah, you could.
Reason number 6, you're not presenting a united front. Yeah, people are already probably thinking that y'all done called it quits and then broke up and everything. Reason number 7, you may regret it. I mean, what's is done is done. I mean, people may people may think whatever, but yeah, those are 7 reasons why you shouldn't talk about your marriage problems to other people.
Yeah, I'm not against it, and that's like I said, I think we have people. I know we have people who we could talk to. I
Hmm.
just don't really see the
Just
point
don't,
in
yeah.
doing so because at that point, I mean, they're not going to be. How are they going to help me? I guess is
I
what
mean,
I'm
because
trying to say.
they're dealing with their own
But also,
issues.
how can they help me? Like, if I called your mom and I was like, "Hey, he won't talk to me," or something. I mean, I guess she could try to
I
get you.
mean, she could probably give tips of what she would try. Just cut him up some watermelon and
What?
and put on Bad Girls Club. He'll come around.
That's
Yeah, that's
funny.
all it
Buy him a
takes.
new PS4 game or
Yeah,
something.
get him a PS5 and
Buy him some
NBA
McDonald's. Ooh, some
2K,
McDonald's, some watermelon, Bad Girls Club, and NBA.
and
That's
he's right back in your
but I
pocket.
know that.
Huh?
I know that, but sometimes if you're not thinking clearly because you're upset or angry, I mean, you might not be thinking clearly because you're upset or angry, but oftentimes if I'm going to reach out to someone, even if it's about a relationship, like it's going to be me trying to see how I can improve and what I can do better rather than trying to fix it. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like not so much like what we need to do moving forward, but really like what role did like maybe just trying to get clarity on what role I played. But
Yeah,
I'm going to get that clarity from my spouse. So,
yeah.
so you're always going to tell me what role I played for sure. All right, you guys. So that is episode
Number
5.
5. We five in this thing. It's our 5th show anniversary. You know what's happening.
And we are going back to school starting next week. So we will continue
Yes.
to record, hopefully at the same time, and put out videos every Wednesday. Same time. Hopefully Wednesday works. It worked during the summer. I don't know about the school year, so we'll have to see. But yeah, we continue to record and edit on a regular basis, just like my YouTube channel and all of that. So anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. Hope
Hmm.
that you guys enjoyed it. Check us back here next week, and hopefully this quality is giving what it needs to give.
Yes, and I still feel like a rapper, so go ahead and drop that beat.
Bye, guys.
Hey, yo, I'm back in this thing. Got lady to my right and shade to my left. You know, I'm already spitting in this. I'm spitting it to death. You already know what it is. You know what it be like. I'm up in this thing. I'm trying to see what it see like. Bye, guys.